welcome back to my crafty corner. This is Sarah. So this is going to be the fourth part of our watercolor floral Simply Magical scrapbook. So the last video, I'll just have that so you have something pretty to look at there. The last video we went through and I showed you what I did here, and then we went through and put our pages in here. So now we're going to go through and we're going to map these and pull in my book here, and I know there's a glare on that. So we're going to go to this one's P7. So what I've done is, this is my mat. So this is your guidebook. So I printed these out and I followed her tutorial on this. I laminated those and then I made myself, I cut it at the top so that you can, if you have extras, you can put those bits down in there. And then when you go back to it, you have them in your book. And this tells you how and where and what to print and the options that you have, and whatever you want to do. Okay, so and then I went through and I printed the template. I printed them out, the mats out, because it comes in the guide. So she actually has the guide on the templates. Now when you go to print, like I showed earlier, when you go to print the actual page out to use in your book, it's not going to have any of this stuff on it. All right, so then what I did is I went through and I printed all my mats, and then I stuck them on the actual page that it's going to mat. So the actual page that it's going to mat. That way then I can go straight to that. And I'm going to fold that in like that. So I'm going to pull one of these for P7. And I'm going to lay this down and trace it. Now mine, now I printed this one out, and of course it has the white border because on these it doesn't do the borderless printing. So, and it just so happens that the way mine prints, it fits this way perfectly. Now the other ones, I had actually ended up doing them this way, and then I had all those bits left over. But this way, I could get 2 out of this one sheet. The cat keeps wanting to get up on top of a cabinet that's got all these books on it. She'd knock them all off, and it's just, I don't know why she's got an obsession with that up there today. Might be a fly or a bug or something up there she's trying to get, but all right. So we're gonna take this one and I'm just gonna lay it down here, and it might be like a hair bit more, it might have a hair of the white on there, but I'm okay with that because we're gonna ink. You're not really gonna, it's not gonna be that much that it's noticeable. And on this one, actually all I have to do is trace it on this one side, because we're gonna cut that white off, and we'll trim that on there, and it won't have any of that white. Actually, I don't know why I said that, because I didn't think, but anyways, we're not gonna trim around that. Okay, so I'm just gonna place that back in there because I don't need it for that. I'm gonna set this one to the side. Okay, and then for the little flip pocket thing, we are gonna need, for this page, we're gonna pull these mats. So I'm gonna pull all of these. Okay. And I'm actually going to pull both of these because she does her templates by hand, so they might not actually be exactly the same for both of those. So this is what we're going to do. All right, so for this one, it's going on the back side. And I think I want this, so I'm just going to lay this one down and line these 2 edges up to the edge of that, like so, and pencil. And then I'm just going to, trace right alongside that. Like I didn't get it quite, okay. There's that one. Then I will put that one back because I don't need it again. Okay, and then I'm gonna put that one to the side, and then we're gonna do this one. Okay, so this is gonna go for the pockets. So in the book, it shows them like this, but my pockets are gonna be coming in from the other side. So I'm actually gonna flip them upside down like this, okay? And I'm gonna go I'm gonna go up into this top corner here. Well, let's see, hang on. Okay, so this is how it, okay, I'm a little confused. So I don't want to confuse you. So I know how it's supposed to go, but like I'm trying to say how, because I don't want to be like flipping it all the way around in 100 different directions, because that would be confusing as well. So they go like this, okay? And but mine are actually flipped the other way. So my pockets actually, they're going to be on my page like this. Okay. So then I want to make sure that I get the design that I want going this way. So I'm actually going to use this corner for mine. So I'm going to flip, since I know that, I'm going to flip these back around and I'm going to lay this one down here. Because one thing is because this one doesn't really have a direction, but this is the part that I want to show. So I'm going to line these edges up here, okay, and then I'm gonna trace that one out. I'm gonna put that one back, okay, and then I know that this is gonna meet to this one, so I'm gonna line this one up with that pencil mark there, and then just along that edge like so. And then trace this part out. Like that. So then it leaves a continuous thing. And then this piece that we end up cutting off here, I believe we're going to be able to use that. We're going to flip that to the other side and we'll be able to use that underneath that pocket so that we don't waste or throw that away, right? Okay. So then for these, I'll go ahead and trim those out. So I'm just going to cut on my pencil mark lines. So I'm just going to line that up. And then I'm going to not cut that in half yet because I want to trim that out first. And then I will cut these two in half. So I'm just going to and there might have been an easier way. I mean, you probably could just get another scrap piece of paper. I think that's probably what I did on the other one. I don't know if I used the exact one that came off of it. I think I did though. I think I just flipped it. But at the same time, I don't want to make a mess of that piece here. Okay, so we'll flip it over and then it will go in to our pocket. And we'll finish, I'm gonna finish trimming out my pieces, put my extra pieces to the side. And then I will ink the edges and I'll be back. Alrighty, so now I've got those all cut out. Those are inked. And now we are just going to glue them in. May end up having to do another piece because I think that's gonna bug me. Yeah, with it having like too much space on either end. I didn't think about that when I cut that. So I was thinking that was gonna work. Maybe that is not gonna work. I'm just gonna put this to the side. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down. And then I'll pull one of those scrap pieces back out and we'll just cut So here's what we'll do, because I like them colors together like that. So I'm actually going to trim this in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down. Well, that's not going to work either, is it? I'm just going to use the edges of these. And I'm going to trace my little line here. Or I'm just going to make little marks right there where that's supposed to go. And actually, let me use these because they're a little more. Okay. And then this one will go here. Okay. And then this one will go here. And so there's that line there. So I'm just going to take my blending tool, and I'm just going to kind of ink that up a little bit. Actually, I tell you what we could do. We could like put, after we get these glued in, we could put like a little flower right here on the under, you know, and glue that, and then it will kind of hide some of that a little bit. I think that looks okay though. I'm okay with that. So we're going to do that. If not, you could just take another piece of scrap that you have and cut it and make, you know, that's what I had done, I think, originally on the other one, because it goes all the way across like that. And if they're not both the same, that's okay. I'm not, that doesn't bother me that big, because I don't want to waste it. And honestly, this little piece would probably have ended up gotten thrown away because of how it's cut. So I didn't think about it in the other one that I did. Okay. So let me see if I can hurry and get this in here before that erupts too much. There we go. So we're going to trace out. Let me put these two. Well, actually, let me keep these out. Let me put this to the side. So we're going to go back to, we're going to go back to P7. The matte, well, I could have called this out earlier on the other one. If you don't have this like this, your matte is on P25. So if you're printing on your paper, you can just print, you know, that. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to lay this one down here. Like that. And trace that one out. Okay, and then I'm also going to do that to this one. These corners here. And I am going to trace those out on this. I'm going to go through and we're going to cut all of these out and do like we did on the other. I will trim all these out, ink them up, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I got all these inked up, and I've already matched up the ones that I think that these fit the best on. And we're gonna go through and glue all these down. Let me put the lid back on that before it starts oozing out again. And I'll knock all my ink applicators over. Okay. So let's see how this is going to work. I will tell you, possibly not very, I think I had a little bit of difficulty on the last one that I did because it doesn't want to. And especially with it being this copy paper, you probably would have done better to have used, whoop, no, don't land on that. The, oh, mercy. What is that? The what you call it paper. And I have to get it in there before all that dries. There's probably definitely, I did not really see how she did hers on this. And there's probably a lot of an easier way to do it, okay? Well, no. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. There we go. Okay. And then, I mean, the good news is even if it's not glued down exactly all the way in the corners, that'll be fine. I don't think that's going to come out. Probably could have just put glue on the center part and it would have been just fine. So, and I'm just going to really give that a good press though, just to make sure. Okay. And it's not going to fall out or anything. So if it's in the middle, it should be good. So then there's that. And so then we'll move on to the next one here. So we're going to need, get back into my little template book here. I'm going to set this to the side again. Okay. And we will need, I say P7, it's not P7, but it's the mat for P7, so P25. We will need that one. Okay, and I'm gonna use this one, so I'm gonna go trace that. Okay, and then on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Now, I will end up cutting into that one, but I'll show you what I mean in just a second, because we'll trace onto that next one again in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to put this one back. Okay, and then we're going to go on over to P11. So you need the mats for P11. Those are going to be on P29. And for the flap part, I'm going to set these to the side for just a second. So for the flap part, I know I want the birdhouse, okay? So I'm going to actually come down. Here, let me go ahead and I'm going to trim this edge off because I don't really need it. Okay, so I'm going to flip this way. Actually, I'm gonna flip it this way so I can see this corner too. So I'm gonna go, because mine is gonna flap in this way. So if it's flapping in this way, I know that that is gonna orientate it to be the correct way, right? So I'm just turning it around upside down because it's just easier for me to see how to trace this way. Okay, like that. Okay. For now, I'm just going to stick that one back right there. And then on this one, I am going to, actually it's going to be this side. I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up in this corner, and then I'm going to trace this out on here, because then we're going to use this piece here, and when we cut it here, we're going to use this piece, and it's going to go in underneath that that tack. So we're just going to have a continuous piece here. And now I was going to do the same, but I don't want all that to be purple under there, so could do a blue, but I kind of like this pink. So let's see. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna go right to the tip of that, and I'm just gonna trim that off, and then I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna use this top part up here. So I'm gonna take this. Now, okay, so this piece is gonna be on the underside. So it's gonna be, so if this is the top side and I traced it this way, and this one's gonna be on the back side. So I'm just gonna trace it the same way, and then it should be right, I think. Just line that up there, and pencil. And that still leaves me this pretty water fountain or bird bath, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna say bird bath because it's got birds in it, but I guess really it's a fountain. Okay, so, and then, so I'm gonna put that back like that. And then I'm gonna trim all these out and ink them up, and we will attach those in. Okay, so here we are. Got those inked, and we will start attaching these down. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we've got all of that glued in on this part. Just want to make sure there's no glue seepage that way. Don't want to stick my my pocket down. All right, and then that looks so pretty together. I like it. It's pretty. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get my little templates out and trace these. So let me see here. Okay, for this one, we are going to be using that same old P7, P25 here. I'm going to turn this way and I'm going to just do it the same. Okay. Trace that down like so. And I want to say, I think the other mats are the same for that, I believe. Let me check, because we're gonna need these right here. So yeah, these are different. Okay. So I want to say these are the same as this. So here's what we'll do, and I'm fairly certain that these are all the same size. So I'm gonna take one of these. Oh, okay, so wait, let me tell you. This is P18, so the mats for P18 are on P36, and so I'm gonna take this, okay, and then I'm gonna lay it down on. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this one from P18, P36, the mat for P18, and I'm gonna lay one of them down and I'm gonna trace it right here. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure that it's straight, because we're gonna flip the other end too and stick it in the pocket like we did, kind of like we've been doing, so that we don't waste our paper. So I'm gonna trace this one, and I'm actually only gonna do it once. I think once is gonna be plenty enough. And then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna trace it. It is, but I think it's how I've traced it. So we're just I'm gonna line this one up to this edge here. I'm gonna trace that up and that up. So actually I'm going to take, I said I was going to do that, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one up 3 times. When I trimmed these templates out, I don't think I did a very good job of trimming them out evenly, but that's okay. We're going to make this work. This one's only a hair difference, so I'm going to go with it because this is what I want to do. So that way then when I trim this, I can use these pieces in the end of that little pocket thing, instead of taking a whole other piece. I mean, I could have went out and used this whole thing, but I mean, that's a good amount right there that I could use for something else. So we've still got our little envelopes and little things, inserts and things like that we're going to do. And so I'm kind of wanting to hang on to some of that for that. Okay. I think that's it. That one for that page, this one for this page, and yes, okay, so I'm gonna set this to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and trim these out and ink those up and glue them down. Okay, so now I have these all trimmed, inked, and cut apart. Let's see. Now, these are actually going to end up being reversed, okay? Because I want this pattern here because, you know, like I matched this one here, so it's all fluid because that's how it goes. Well, this one, actually, when you flip it over, you have to flip it the other way around as well, or else it doesn't match up, because this one I actually cut off of this piece, and this one I actually cut off of that piece. So I just swap those two out, and then it makes a continuous pattern on that also, okay? So then we're just gonna go through, we're gonna glue all these down. I can remember as a kid, I always loved the combination of these colors together. I always would color, I would color with blue, purple, and green mainly, with some pink, but mainly with blues, purples, and greens. They were always my favorite colors. Purple mainly is my favorite color. So I got them off just a little bit. They're not exactly, and I don't think, guys, I don't think I inked this pocket, this end. So let me like just kind of hit that a little bit. Okay, that's better. Maybe got a little ink on that, but that's okay. Okay, so then there we go. There's that one. Our mat for page 7, which is on page 25. And let me just trace that. I think I want this pink line in there. I like that. So I'm gonna just lay this down there. Okay, so I'm gonna set these to the side. I think I'm gonna go, since these are pretty simple, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this back one as well. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. And the corners, I think I'm gonna use this purple one here. I'm just gonna use some of these scraps instead of cutting into this one, right? So I'm just gonna do this, and I think I'm gonna flip it to this other side. Okay, so that's got all of these matted. And ready to be filled, and yeah, so pretty. I feel like I added a little more pink to this one than I did to this one, and that's okay. All right, so I guess this is gonna be it for this video. We still like the back inside cover, but I don't want to mat it just yet because I'm gonna actually be adding some magnets. So I don't want to mat that just yet. And then we've got our inserts, things that we will be putting in here. So that will probably be next, is going through and getting all of the inserts and the back finished, and then embellishing. So yeah. So I think that's where we're at. Alrighty, so that's got this album, or this part of the album, finished. And like I said, next we will be back with the inserts and the fun part of embellishing. And so that's all I got for you today on this one. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you click that notification bell and be notified when I do upload the next video. and other videos. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.